Hey there, Shankar, everybody. Welcome back for another amazing episode of the Marhaba Crypto Show. We were away for last week, but we're back and we got more exciting news for you guys and crazy update when it comes to the market update. So, like as always, I'm your host and Moby's here with me. Moby, how's your day? How's everything? How's Australia? What's going on?
Good man, good. We had for anyone who knows or anyone in the country, we had a lot of flooding actually.
Okay.
Not in my state as well, New South Wales. Sydney City hasn't been too bad, but been a lot of flooding in our state and also in Queensland, a little bit north. People have lost their homes. A lot of people have died. So our thoughts and prayers go out to them. I think it's subsiding now, but man, the scenes, if you see the scenes, it's crazy. Like, imagine the top of McDonald's arches up to
Mm-hmm.
water and you just see the top of the arch. Like, it
Wow.
boggles the mind, subhanAllah, how much water, can arrive in a location. So, apart from that, it's been good. The weather's been clearing up. It's been really, really good. But I have to ask you, man, what's with the hat, man? You couldn't pick another color? Like, you had to find a black hat?
No, this is the closest that I could find. It's actually
Get
not even
another
my
color,
thing.
man. Like, when I'm wearing black, you find something else. Like, it's too
I
close for
gotta.
comfort.
If anybody knows, Moby has a beautiful collection of hats, and I think I gotta start looking into something like that. But I'm just like whatever I could find close by, and I just picked it up and I got going with it. But
All
yeah,
good, man. I'm
that's
playing. I'm playing. I'm very happy to see you look more like me.
I have to. You have to look like your mentors, right? You have to look like your idols. So
Astaghfirullah.
you're
All
you're
good.
the guru here. You're the ustad. Anyway, okay, so let's get this thing started. We'll start off today with Moby's market update. We're gonna talk about what's going on with the market. Is it going up? Is it going down? Some good picks and stuff like that. After that, Mufti Billal is gonna come in and talk about a very interesting project which has a lot of hype behind it. And then after that, what's going on with Marhaba? Where are we? Token movements, Sahal wallet, Souk NFT, and all the fun stuff. So, Moby, the floor is all yours. Uh, what's the market update?
Awesome. Thank you, Ahmed. So it's really interesting. This is not a Merhaba thing only. I've noticed this in the crypto markets when things are bullish, all the crypto channels are growing. And when things are bearish, they're not. And it's just amazing the psychology of people and investors. So for those of you who tune in on a weekly basis, and like in the thick of it, I applaud you. I commend you. I think you're the people who are going to be making money in bear markets because I do believe we are in a bear market. So, pat yourself on the back and just have that resilience because rich people aren't made rich when everyone's getting rich, So,
Exactly.
it's kind of common sense when you think about it. So I'm gonna like do my best not to because I feel like people turn off when I talk about global macro stuff, right? But I promise everything I talk about is linked to crypto. So I'm gonna, do my best not to be doom and gloom, but I'm gonna talk about some positive bullish stuff. So stay tuned. So as far as obviously right now, everything that's dominating our markets, our gas pump. Ahmed, in your country, as fuel prices gone up, gas prices have gone up.
Crazy. I'm walking to places now. You before my friends and we used to go together to the place. And I was like, you want to get in the car? You gotta pay some crypto. You gotta Sorry, you gotta send me. Let him scan my Trust wallet or my Sahal wallet, and then he sends me some USDT. We gotta do what we gotta do, man. We have to survive out
You
here.
got to,
It's
man. Yeah,
about $2 or $1.90 a liter, $1.80 a liter.
yeah.
That's
My
wild,
wife's
man.
car. My wife's got a big Land Cruiser Prado. I guess you'd call them trucks in the states, and
Mhm.
she filled it cost her $174. No, sorry,
Yeah, no.
over $200. It was like 200 something dollars to fill that thing up. Crazy. It's
This
crazy
is
right now.
moments like this is when you start thinking about moving to places like Turkey, Pakistan, Saudi, Malaysia, and stuff like that. Because over there, living expenses are gonna be cheaper. And remember, guys. So this is actually I was talking to somebody tomorrow. Sorry, yesterday. Tomorrow, I'm talking to people in the future.
Mashallah.
Yeah, yesterday, and we were talking
Yeah.
about the concept of where the markets are going, and they were interested in stocks and stuff. I said, look, there's 2025 mandates in a lot of countries for EV, electric
Mm,
vehicles. So if you're into stocks, this is also something that you can look into is electric vehicles, and you invest for about 10 years, right? There's a reason why people who invested in Tesla when it got started, when it had $100 million loan, and versus now, right? That's when they invested, and now they're benefiting from it. So right? Look into EV. We are looking at 3 year line, and a lot of countries are going to start pushing very heavy for EV, and at that time, petrol prices are going to be all time high. So, and this is not going to get much lower than this. So if you see it's gradually going up like this, so look into EV.
No, well spoken. A very good think halal grow rich piece of advice there, Ahmed. 100%, 100%. Like it's still thing. Like, yeah, sure. When you bought Tesla maybe a few years ago, now you're getting the benefits, but we're still quite early.
Yeah.
So I think the sustainable energy, carbon offset related businesses are very very interesting to sort of look into. But
Mhm.
no, yeah. But going back to topic, like it's insane right now, and that's dominating all of our markets. And the thing to think about too, right? Like everyone's blaming Vladimir. I kind of yeah, he's evil, but I think they all are. I don't think the Russian people should be suffering for what a dictator is doing, but I'm going to try to keep it non-political as much as possible. But anyway, one thing is very evident that this is something that Putin has been planning and talking about for a long time. So strap
Mhm.
yourself in. He did this with Crimea years ago. He did this with Chechnya. The war is not ending anytime soon. So if I just go back and sort of share my screen here
Mhm.
right now. Not that you should be trusting what the French presidency is talking about, but the Spectator Index is a really, really good resource I spoke about before for global political, financial related events. And it appears right now that Russia is not. This is not just because Macron is saying this, but Russia is not ready to end the war. Like if
Yeah.
anything, they're very much in the beginning, and they're very much here for the long haul. This is not something I think you can make a mistake calling someone a madman who has a finger on the trigger and could no, like yeah, he might be not a very bad, not a nice person at all, but he's quite intelligent. Like this is something he's been planning for a long time. So he can be
Yeah.
intelligent and a bad person too. I think people make a mistake when they're like, he's a madman, he's stupid, he's crazy, he's going to blow up the world, right? So
Mhm.
one thing I do want to refer everyone to. Let me see if I can get this working is I want to reference Raoul Pal, right? So Raoul Pal is a ex hedge Goldman Sachs hedge fund investor, and he recently shared his thoughts and the scenarios, and he reveals some really really key insights on how it affects us, crypto, the world markets. Now I'm going to try to play this. I'm going to try to just play like a minute of this, only because I think it's really really important for the discussion at hand. So let me just hit go here. Can you hear that, by the way?
No, the audio is
No,
not
you
there.
can't hear that? Okay.
No.
All right, cool. All right, so I'm not going to play it because you can't hear the audio, but one thing, I'll give you the executive summary. Essentially, he's talking about the scenarios in the Ukraine Russia conflict on the impact on global markets. So the
Mhm.
sanctions are not going away. We spoke about the price of oil. Last time, for the first time we started speaking about it on this show, oil was 98, $96. It's now like $114. It's at record levels. Russia is the world's biggest wheat exporter. A lot of wheat comes out of Ukraine as well. We have this Chinese fertilizer problem right now, where there is a supply demand for fertilizer in China, and people can't get that. So anyway, what he talks about is a food crisis. Now, the harvesting season in Ukraine is probably being missed. That's going to impact global commodities as well. The prices of nickel has gone up. Now, Bitcoin is actually correlated. Bitcoin goes down when things like nickel go up and oil go up. We spoke about that on this show as well. So we don't know. The really short answer is we don't know how this is going to affect markets, but markets are edgy right now. The good news is I think it's been priced in a little bit with Bitcoin already. But essentially, we don't know. Um, One thing we do know is the case for crypto, the case for Bitcoin, it has never been more evident than it has ever been. And we spoke about in our episode, the first crypto war, in a couple of weeks ago. So the ruble-denominated Bitcoin volume surges to 9-month high because their currency is collapsing, because they're being cut off from the financial markets. Now, their GDP isn't that high. Russia's GDP isn't that high. But when you remove a player that is so linked to things like wheat and oil, of course, right? It has a big impact on the rest of the markets, and that's something to sort of watch out for. Now, this is bullish for crypto long term, but you do need to consider things like, and I actually don't like talking about this stuff, like in terms of war and the impact it has, but we can't deny it. Putin has already said that if Poland decides to help Ukraine by allowing weapons through, he's going to take that, Putin's going to take that as war and aggression on his country. And, that could spark another country. And I believe I believe Poland might be a NATO country. So that really could be what sort of, creates World War III. Now, I like to worry about the problems in front of me. I don't like to worry about the problems tomorrow, but it's important to be a realist in these markets. So, like I said, it is bullish for crypto over time. Bitcoin is funny because it trades both as a risk asset and a store of value. And people can see the demand for Bitcoin. So this whole thing, when this came out, Feb 28, it's actually a bit older now. And when that news came out that Bitcoin, Russians are using it, Ukrainians are using it, we actually did see this pump. So if I go to the 27th, 28th, we did see this little pump here. You see, Ahmed, if you can still see my screen.
Yeah, we
This
can.
little pump here, where we moved above the 21-day moving average. It was almost like a little bit of a fake out. This was when that news arose. And you can see here, we just, if I can get where's my little pen tool? Make this a little bit bigger. Okay, I'll leave it like that. So we can sort of see we've just been consolidating on this this white line. We're going through a really extended period of consolidation this entire year. Now, the long and short of it, just to kind of keep it really, really simple, 34,000, 36,000 is support and 43 to 45,000 is resistance. Until then, there's really not much, you can do or should do or really think about. I will say as well, like the RSI is bearish, but it's not oversold. So you see the RSI here. If the RSI was all the way here, oversold, like here, you can see here we hit this oversold RSI. You can see this little pump that we had, right? But what does this tell us? This tells us that it's bearish, but it's still got a long way to go to oversold. So there could be a lot more failure in play. If I turn on linear regression bands, you can see here is the bottom of this band. Now, this is like a linear regression band. You can see we're in a clear downtrend. Arguably, we're in a clear bear market right now. Even the bottom point, this 27, 28,000 of this linear regression band, if we fail 34, 36, we're going to drop to 28, and it's at the bottom of this band. So that could be the ultimate bottom. I don't know if we'll get there, but that could be the bottom, and it has a few points of confluence. So that I'd be pretty confident in buying off a bounce here. But, onto sort of enough doom and gloom, onto some sort of bullish news. Now, when you kind of look at what's happening on the macro side of things, it is really, really bullish. This is a screenshot from Token Metrics, and they talk about the fact that Bitcoin in cold storage is making an all-time high. So illiquid supply is at an all-time high right now. The other thing as well, miners are amongst the leading indicators of what's going to happen because they've been in this game for a really, really long time. The amount of Bitcoin that miners are sending to exchanges is at an all-time low. So they are not supplying the market. They are holding onto the market. Yet prices are stabilizing. So when you have this situation where prices aren't necessarily tanking, and yes, we might have another 10% drop from here, but people are hodling, it is bullish long term. And that's why we're in this. We're not in this for 2-3 months. You might have this prolonged bear market in 2022. It might only be the end of this year where we see rallies and all-time highs, and that's okay. Now, the other big thing that I've been talking about for a number of episodes now is Biden's executive order on crypto. Now, largely, the market actually has been very responsive and positive. A lot of commentators have seen this as a really good thing and a bullish thing. And essentially, in short, it talks about the fact that Biden, honestly, it feels like this was like a meeting for a meeting because he's, directed the US Department of Treasury and other agencies to study the impact of crypto on stability and national security, and also exploring central bank currencies. I think out of all of this, the central bank currency, like a digital, crypto-based dollar like USDT, is probably the most likely. Essentially, he's just saying, go and do some homework reports and come back to me. But people are saying that, hey, he's giving crypto companies the green light to exist. So I think it's going to be really mixed news that comes out, but I think this is a good thing. It's validating crypto. Moving forward, the other thing that I've spoken about also, I've been saying this for episodes and episodes, guys. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, because if you have been listening for the last few episodes, we've been saying, Ahmed, You have to watch this space. We're going to have choppiness. And according to this chart, that's exactly what we've had all year. We've had
Yeah.
choppiness. So make sure
You
you hit that
and
subscribe
you
button.
got it right on the point. If you go back 3 weeks and you talked about how it's gonna rally between these 2 points, before it breaks out to one direction. That's exactly what it's doing. If you see that, it made a W pattern, sorry, an M pattern, and now it's gonna in that. It seems like, depending on the market, it's gonna either decide to break up or break down. Usually after a W pattern, specific pattern indicators will tell us if it's gonna go up or down. But right now, I can't really determine much from this. But going back to the main point, you're correct. It is rallying exactly how you said it would have done.
Yeah, and this is not like we don't have a crystal ball or anything. We're just basing it off what's happening and what could
Yeah,
happen. And what we do know for a fact is when there are these global macro things happening, when they are these, big milestones like, inflation rates, which hit another record, a 40-year record of 7.9%. It broke another record.
yeah,
Uh, we know the Fed was going to look at increasing interest rates in March 15, which is going to be this week. There's going to be volatility that you can guarantee. You don't know what's going to happen, but you can guarantee when there are these things happening, markets are edgy, right? They will not make decisions. They will just consolidate. They'll sell on rallies and they'll just, range trade. And that's what's
yeah,
happening. So I don't know what's going to happen. And I don't know how much the Fed's going to increase the rate. It could be argued that the Fed will say, you know what, we're going to keep the money printer going because Biden recently tried to get another $6 billion to fund the Ukrainian war. It's like, man, are you crazy? Your people are starving at home and you want to print more money, enslave your own,
yeah,
like, just not, whatever, right? So we don't know. We really don't know. But one thing we do know, according to Lark Davis, is the impact of previous rate rises. So, we had every single time this has happened, we've had a little pump and then a dump. So he talks about the time that it takes an average of 18 weeks to reclaim pre-hike prices. So expect a possible pump and then a dump as well. And this is something that honestly is not a surprise to me. If this happens, we sort of continue to range trade. Moving forward, Ethereum, right? So this actually had some mixed news. Ethereum gas fees dropped to the lowest levels since August 2021. Prices have been quite low. Now, there's actually been some commentators have said that this is a negative thing because it's showing people not using Ethereum, because Ethereum is a product of its own, a victim of its own success. When Ethereum is pumping and NFTs are launching and DeFi protocols are pumping on Ethereum, people need to use the network and gas prices skyrocket. But then people complain about the gas prices. So it's just a victim of its own success. So now people are like, oh, well, people aren't using it. And it is true on DeFi Llama, which I'm going to click through in a minute or so. The total value locked, it's remained steady. I think it's about 55% of all DeFi is on Ethereum. It's still really, really high. It's dropped, but it's still really, really high. NFT projects have dropped as well. So, I'll keep going. You can thank NFT for falling Ethereum gas prices, but it's arguable that NFTs have been very choppy and frothy for a while anyway. So this is not necessarily a bad thing. This is a global crypto-wide thing right now. And if anything, we can see that the user case for Ethereum is still really, really, really strong. So ETH 2.0 is just around the corner. So in the medium term, it's going to be really, really bullish, for Ethereum. And actually, let me kind of sort of jump around here. According to a study from Coinbase, that the staking rewards you get for validating ETH 2.0, and I believe I might ask the Mufti this later. I believe he's mentioned in the past that this type of staking is halal. You're validating and securing the network. It's going to the rewards are going to double. People actually, Coinbase, the analysts expect the rewards of Ethereum staking to double. And on that note, the value of staked Ethereum has not dropped. If anything, it's hit record levels, 10 million Ethereum staked. So more Ethereum is being staked. The value of of the rewards are going to double. You've got Goldman Sachs just 5 hours ago, actually. Goldman Sachs investing into Ethereum even more, creating a fund, and a Galaxy Digital Ethereum fund. Like this is long term. Like people understand the security of Ethereum. is really, really, really strong. And I mentioned before too, like, if we have, 2400, I'm a buyer at 2400. We're hitting at 225. I think last time we spoke, Ethereum was a lot higher, and I did mention it would probably drop to 2524. So you'll probably get this opportunity. Now, this here is a descending wedge. It is a bearish pattern where you have, you keep hitting the same level of support, but you get lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. So what this pattern indicates that if we break through, the bottom here, that we could actually fall quite a bit. And that might happen. That might coincide with, Bitcoin falling quite a bit. Will we get to, this Fibonacci level of 1649? I don't think so, but I have to respect the pattern. I have to respect the fact that Ethereum in the short term does look bearish. RSI, like Bitcoin, is bearish as well. But long term, it's these macro investors don't care. They don't give a damn about that. It's doing quite well. Moving forward, spoke about that already. Did you hear about this? Ahmed, the godfather of DeFi, Andre Cronje, quitting 25 projects. Did you hear about this?
No, I didn't. This is pretty interesting. He was on
So
25 projects. That's that.
yeah,
That's the harder part to understand.
well, we know a few people like that, right? And it never works. It never works, right? So anyway, he was involved in a number of projects, namely probably the most prominent one being, Fantom. And he
Mm,
quit and he cited burnout, and he sort of left. I do think like the way they could have communicated this could have been better, because him and his, business partner, I guess, or colleague, Anton Neal, said that Andre and I have decided we're closing the chapter of contributing to the space. There are around 25 apps and services that we are terminating. Now, honestly, like, Anton could have done, this guy doesn't have much empathy. He could have done this in a much better way. He's like, we're terminating 25 apps and services. Now, the apps and services that are affected and all of these tanked are Yearn. Yearn is huge, right? Huge, like OG of the DeFi space. Keeper Network, multi-chain as well, which you've mentioned in the past, Ahmed.
yeah, it's pretty
Chainlist,
huge.
da da
Yeah.
da da. Huge, 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 huge. Now, this is kind of a little bit unfair to Fantom, because Fantom dropped as well. Like, Fantom's actually dropped 30%, almost 30% in a week, right? Huge. And honestly, I'm a
Mm,
huge fan of Fantom. I think it's a great network. Like, it's sitting at like $1.21 now, arguably a buy for some. Not for me, which I'll go back to in a second. But Fantom came out and they sort of said that, look, you know what? Andre has only been an advisor. He was on like 25 projects. It's not like he was doing anything. We have a team of 40 core developers that have
mhm.
not been, Andre has not been a part of, which honestly is really, really feasible. And it makes a lot of sense. A project like this that has a really good team, solid team, knowing someone has been across 25 projects, it's not like he was doing anything
Yeah.
tangible with Fantom anyway. So if you're a Fantom fan and you're looking to kind of invest in Fantom, might not be a bad one. I will sort of say that the reason why I'm not is because I'm already invested in Fantom, and I see Avalanche actually as a bigger play, as a better play right now. Avalanche has more total value locked, but it's not as frothy as Luna is. I think after Ethereum, Luna has the highest, and then maybe it's BNB. Actually, let me just do this really, really quickly. So I had this a second ago. If I go to chains, so I don't tell you guys any lies. Yeah, so Ethereum, Ethereum total value locked. The dominance is what, I think 55% or so, 55%. Then you've got Terra Luna, which I believe is a little bit frothy. BNB, AVAX, da, da. So Fantom, yes, it has dropped all the way here below Solana. But I think like one of the best value for money plays is Avalanche. The market cap to TVL ratio is 1.74. I've mentioned this before. So it's not as low as Fantom, but it's not as high as something like BNB or Ethereum as well. And on just on the comment and just on the point of Avalanche is they recently committed to another almost $300 million to track gaming, DeFi, and NFT subnets. Two things here. One, they're like a lot of they're raising all this money to attract people, and then you've got the subnets. Now they did another 200 million in November, right? And on this show, I almost sound like a broken record. Near rate like raises 800 billion. Da da da. I do think there's a bit of an issue. Like if I kind of step back, Ahmed, like just as a like a a commentator on the industry, You
Hmm.
can't keep throwing money at these. Like it does feel like the dot-com boom a little bit because there's only so much talent. You just can't keep throwing money to attract talent and
Hmm.
developers and projects. There's only so much good projects and good teams out there. You end up having a lot of frothy and crappy projects, like arguably, and I'm very subjective about this, I know, like a lot of projects on Cardano, like a lot of them are rubbish, man. You know what I mean? Like that's just my opinion. You know what I mean? So
I
just
told you,
something to
Moby. I
watch
got
out
rid of
for.
my Cardano. You convinced me. I got you.
And I was right. I was right, right? Like I've been wrong about a bunch of things, but I was right. It's sitting at like 80 cents right now, right? And I sold that
Yeah.
about like 250. So
Yeah.
and I got something on Cardano coming up. But subnets are very the second thing I want to talk about is subnets. Subnets are launching on Avalanche soon, and they are very, very bullish. Like it allows you to create networks within Avalanche and use the
Hmm.
security of the Avalanche ecosystem. So you don't have to come up with your own security and your own blockchain, that type of thing. You can use the security of the Avalanche network.
Hmm.
And if institutions tell us anything, they value security. They don't care Ethereum is slow and expensive. They don't care. It's secure, and they're confident to invest millions, if not billions of dollars in something like that. So AVAX looks really, really good right now. Unfortunately, it did fall out of this ascending triangle pattern, which is usually quite bullish. It did fall out here. So it is at a point of confluence right now at $71. So if we lose this support of 71, it's a mashallah Fibonacci level, 786 Fibonacci level. We've been dancing here a lot, as you can see. If we lose this, we can fall to $60. But don't hold your breath. Like, don't be one of those people. If you haven't invested in AVAX and you wait for 60, it doesn't arrive and you have to buy in at 90. It's good to have multiple levels of buying. So I'm not buying any
Hmm.
more now. Like you need 25 AVAX to be a delegator, which allows you to secure their network and get airdrop rewards as well. So that could be a target for some of you guys out there. Not financial advice and not Sharia advice. Don't at me in the comments and tell me I'm saying the wrong things, because I'm not. I put disclaimers on everything. Right, but again, brothers, and well, brothers, really, I appreciate your comments. I really do. I'm not being negative or anything, but guys, don't at me. I'm not a Sharia guy, man. Like we have the Mufti sub for that. But again, not financial advice. $60 a good buyer zone for me. Yeah. Let me wrap this up real quick. I know we have the Mufti sub waiting. eBay. This is huge. This is absolutely huge. eBay is adding crypto payments soon. This news was broken a few weeks ago, but it wasn't that solid. And now the
Hmm.
CEO has come out and said, yes, we are looking to add crypto pay. eBay is still huge. I know, like everyone, talks about Amazon, but eBay is still huge. There's still billions of dollars sold on this
Yeah.
thing. And we know Amazon is investing into crypto teams and crypto
Yeah.
forms of payment on the down low. We already know that.
We need to understand that a lot of things are still not sold on Amazon that are still sold on eBay. For example, the aftermarket of cards, various other things, used product market. It's still eBay. eBay still holds quite a bit of the market when it comes to people bidding and trying to buy things and products which are used or which are not something that's going to be on usual Amazon stuff, right? Like you get an antique or something, so there's still a lot of opportunity there,
True.
right?
True. And still a lot of stuff is bought on eBay. Like
Yeah.
eBay, some commentators are saying they're trying to get in with the younger audiences and, do crypto. I don't think necessarily that's the case. I think these big institutions realize the liquidity, right? There's, like I think over half Americans have some form of crypto. They know people have liquidity. It's like Afterpay and, buying things on credit, buy now, pay later. It's just another form for them. Apple Pay.
Yeah.
So there's liquidity there and they want to take advantage of that. Um,
Hmm.
but wrapping this up, our friend Charles Hoskinson, I'm going to try to be as objective as possible because I know, like, people listening think I just smash Cardano all the time. I think I have my reasons, and I think my reasons have been justified. But one thing I will say, the founders of a team, the management of a team is really, really important. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
you have to, like, when you don't know whether a project is going to work or kick off or whatever, you look at the team. And Cardano recently took a tumble because he was accused of falsifying credentials. So apparently he had said that he, did a PhD, that he started and he dropped out, but he didn't even do the PhD. He didn't even do the undergrad, apparently. So, you know what I mean? And like, a lot of people have come and attacked Laura Shin, and I don't think that's fair. I do think, journalists sometimes are not great people, but she hasn't done anything wrong. She's been honest. She has gotten information from the university. He's kind of saying, oh, it's great works of fiction. But she's like, look, what do you say about this? This is the evidence that we have. So, do whatever you want with Cardano, but, it is a bad alarm when you have, the founders of. That's why, honestly, that's why one of the reasons why attracted me to Merhaba, because of the team, because of Nakib, because of his tenure and involvement in the crypto world. So, something to. And I've always said, Ahmed, his character has always been something that left something to be desired for me. Like rants on Twitter, and I'm like, I don't. It just doesn't feel right. In the final news, I actually had a ton of metaverse stories I just threw out because it's just crazy right now. LeBron James, Michael Jordan, it's just insane what's happening in the metaverse. One thing I can promise you, and I would implore you to prove me wrong because you won't be able to, the metaverse is not slowing down. But the one story I do want to talk about is a nation state, South Korea, pouring money into a world-class metaverse system. Now, this is kind of funny. South Korea, they're putting 187 million. You guys have heard me talk about $800 million investment, 600, 270. It's kind of cute. It's like, 187 million. It's cute. South Korea's trying. But it just tells you how much stupid money there is in crypto sometimes, right? But the point is, these guys, a nation state is investing into this. They see the infrastructure, ability, and capability. And I think it's really, really bullish. So watch this space. Things like Ethereum we've spoken about. Go back a few episodes if you want to talk about how to get exposure to metaverse tokens or metaverse without investing in certain tokens. Go back to our previous episodes because we've spoken about that. But on that note, Ahmed, that is the market update for the week.
That was fantastic. It was a good, healthy market update. We needed that, and I think there's a lot of good points that were said in there that could help you determine where the future of the market is. Remember, you go where money's going or where the market is going, and when you go that way and you know it before other people can find out about it and take action on it, that's how you benefit. So, for example, Moby got this information within this week. We can make a decision and strategy with this information and take action on it, and we'll benefit from it. People will find out about it, weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks after, and then they'll take action on it. It's always about being ahead of the game to make benefits from it. All right, guys, that wraps up the market update. I'm gonna invite Mufti Billal. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. How are you doing?
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you guys? You okay?
Doing fantastic. Doing fantastic. How's everything in UK? How are you doing? You're more happy. You look more happy. You're shining bright like a diamond. What's going on?
Alhamdulillah. I'm sleepy, that's why.
Well, okay, we won't bother you for too long. Just what are we talking about today, and what's the verdict?
Basically, we receive some queries regarding exotic markets protocol. It's a protocol, I think, that has appeared on the news recently. I think in January they raised £5 million or $5 million. So basically, it's a DeFi protocol, and it's operating on the Solana blockchain. Okay. Now, the aim of the protocol itself is to offer structured products. Now, what are structured products? Structured products are quite complex. Okay. According to the definition given by Exotic Markets on their website, which I believe was taken from either Wikipedia or from Investopedia, it says that they are pre-packaged investments that normally include one or more assets linked to interest plus one or more derivatives.
Got it.
Okay. Now, what type of assets are they going to be on the Exotic Markets platform? Well, it says that the community will decide which assets they're going to be. Because at the moment, it is quite new. I don't even think they're running 100%. They are offering these products at the moment. I think it's just a concept. They have, however, launched, I think it's called a dual currency recently. I haven't found any information about it, but it doesn't matter, because from the information that I have gathered on the website itself, I do not believe that Exotic Markets is a Sharia compliant project. Okay, and I will explain why. So as I said, the aim is to offer structured product. Now, structured product, if you want to make it simple, it's very similar to a loan, basically. It's very similar to a loan, where your capital is guaranteed to be returned to you, and with the potential of earning an extra amount. Now, the amount that you are earning might not necessarily be interest, in the sense that they are saying, okay, lend us the money and we'll pay you interest. It doesn't necessarily work like that. It's more kind of linked to the performance of something else. So it might be the performance of an index, for example. So if the index, for example, let's say the index rises, and therefore, you're going to end up making some money. So you'll make the money, and then by the time they return you the capital, they return it to you with a profit, with whatever profit they have made. And this definition that they have given on the Exotic Market website is kind of more in line. So I have checked, with, for example, Glenn Arnold from Financial Times. He has described structured product as the example he has given is that it is an investor. As an investor, you commit a lump sum for 5 years, for example, and the providers offers your capital back at the end, plus all of the increase in, say, the FTSE 100 index over the 5 years, up to a maximum of, for example, 65%. So this potential increase that you're going to receive is akin to interest, is akin to riba from a Sharia perspective. And the capital that you are supposedly giving to the provider is very similar to a loan, basically. Is another way, in fact, is just another way to issue a loan, to issue an IOU, but, it's structured in a different manner. Now, as I said, this would be one way to look at it. The other way to look at it would be to say that, structured products are just the sell and the trade of derivatives. Okay? But the problem with derivatives is that you're never really buying or selling something, meaning there is never a real exchange of assets from both sides. It's just certain rights that is being exchanged, certain, it's just a cash flow that's, that might be, exchange, for example, or that might be both, but you're not really buying an asset. That is a reality. That's why derivatives are considered to be Sharia compliant. And derivatives usually are very, very complex. The way it is structured is very, very complex. In fact, I was reading last week, I don't know if you know David Graeber, who was an anarchist. Okay, it's a very interesting book. It's about that. He wrote something very interesting in this book. I was reading last week. Is that when it comes to derivatives, he says that prominent investment house had to employ astrophysicists to run trading programs so complex that even the financiers couldn't begin to understand them. And this is something that me personally, I have seen, I have witnessed, that people who are working in the finance industry for, 20, 30 years, sometimes when you talk to them, they just don't make sense. They haven't understood how the product is actually working. And I have seen that a lot. In fact, I have not just seen that in people working in financial industries, but even sometimes people, who are involved in businesses. They might be successful businessmen, but sometimes, they do not understand how a certain product works. Especially they cannot. How can I say that? They cannot explain it to you how, what is the actual structure from a Sharia perspective. They do not understand that from a Sharia perspective, this might be considered as riba, for example, or this person might be considered as a lender, for example. They cannot understand that, right? And I have seen that a lot, especially when it comes, every year when people need to calculate the zakat, etc. So when it comes to derivative, bottom line is that it is very, very, it's a very, how do you call it, very complex financial product that sometimes the information that are given are not enough, to truly understand what is going on. And for me, this is a very big problem. This is a very big problem. We know that, okay, derivatives are not Sharia compliant, but these structures, sometimes you cannot even tell whether they're halal or haram. You cannot even tell whether they're halal or haram because you don't even understand what's happening. And that in itself is a problem, even from a Sharia perspective. Because if you cannot say something is halal and haram, that means there is a doubt about it. If I am not wrong, I think Qadi Ayaz al-Maliki, if I'm not wrong, I'm sure it's him, but if it's not him, it's someone else. I have read that some years ago. A scholar who gave an explanation of what is a doubtful thing. So, the Prophet ﷺ, for example, he taught us that, there are things that are halal. What was halal is clear. What's haram is clear. And in between halal and haram, there are things that are unclear. They're doubtful, right? You don't know, meaning that it is very difficult to say whether it's halal and haram. Now, the scholars, they try to explain how do you determine when something is actually doubtful? When you don't, what does it actually mean? And as I said, if I'm not wrong, I think it's Qadi Ayad al-Maliki who gave that explanation, and I think it's the best explanation, that something it is said to be doubtful when you cannot even say whether it's halal and haram. There is not enough proof, there is not enough information for you to determine whether it is halal or haram. And sometimes with certain derivative product, and not just derivative, even with certain crypto project, we can say the same thing, that there are not enough information to say that whether this is halal or haram. And even then, if you cannot say something is halal or you cannot say something is haram, now people, it doesn't mean that because we cannot say it's haram, therefore, we can, we can automatically take it or invest our money. No, we have to stay away from it. We have to stay away from it. This is different. Some people might say, yeah, but there is a principle in fiqh that says, especially when it comes to muamalat, financial affairs, everything is halal until it is proven otherwise. That is fine. Everything is halal when you have all the information to say that this is halal. But when you do not have the information to even say that this is halal, but at the same time, you don't have enough information to say that this is haram, that is what we call something which is doubtful. When it comes to exotic markets, if you look at the information that are there, now I have explained to you what is a structured product. Okay. Now, from the information that they have given, if we look at how people involved in finance, they have explained what is a structured product. We know that, okay, a structured product is based either on derivatives or there's going to be interest involved, etc. It's haram. But at the moment, we don't even know what is it that they are actually offering. Exotic markets, we don't know because I haven't seen the actual product. They have just given you the what do you call it, the explanation and one example, but that's about it. But we still have to stay away from it because the Prophet ﷺ told us anything, obviously in the meaning of the hadith, that anything that is doubtful, you need to stay away from it. If you stay away from it, then you're protecting yourself, you're protecting your iman, etc. You're protecting your deen. You have to stay away from it. Now, coming back to exotic market, as I said, the first issue is the structured product that they're going to offer. But they are also offering something around options. Okay? Now, option contract, they are problematic as well. Conventional option, they're problematic as well. Now, how do we explain an option contract in simple term? Well, it is basically selling the right You're selling the right to somebody to buy an asset, for example. So let's say, for example, I own Bitcoin, and me and Ahmed, we agree that I'm going to sell him that Bitcoin for £1,000, for example, in 1 year time.
So it's
Now
like a
I'm
futures
telling
contract.
you, it's like a future, but I'm giving you have the option, meaning I'm selling you the option to buy it. What that means is, for you to have that right to be able to buy it, you're going to pay me a premium. Okay, you're going to pay me a premium.
Yeah.
So on top of the £1,000, you're going to pay me, like, let's say, £200. And you pay me £200, and you're going to say to me, okay, Bilal, in 1 year time, I will decide whether I want to buy it or not. Now,
It's a
after
call
1 year,
option.
let's say, if you don't want to buy it, then that's it. You don't pay me anything. I don't give you my Bitcoin. However, I will keep the £200. I will keep the premium.
Yeah.
This is also problematic from a Sharia perspective. Okay, from a Sharia perspective, most of the scholars, they say you cannot do that. You cannot sell these. These are not a tradable asset. Okay. So it seems that exotic markets is going to be involved a lot with option as well, and therefore it is not Sharia compliant as well. Exotic market will have one token, which is going to call exo token. Now, the exo token, the native token, will give you certain utility related to staking. It might give you the benefit, for in terms of the fees reduction, or it will also act, as a mean for DAO governance. Okay, because like I said earlier, the assets that are going to be related to the structured product, they're going to be decided by the community. So obviously, we're talking about the people who are holding the exo token. Now, the token itself, if you look at what they have said, it might be, there might not be Sharia issues with it in the token.
Movies and me.
Is non-Sharia compliant, and therefore, there is no point to be involved with this project at the moment. Even, the dual currency they have issued, as I said, we should just stay away from it.
Yeah, got it. Okay, cool. Guys, so I think Mufti Billal, at the ending, you kind of broke out, but I think we got the gist of it. Is that due to the works that they're doing and the things that they're involved with, it's going to be non-share compliant. Is that correct? Okay.
That's right. Yes. So we should just stay away from it.
Yeah.
Like I said, because the reason why I mentioned about the doubtful thing is, I know there are still going to be people who will say, no, but we don't know that. It might be halal.
You pre-plan. You
might be,
pre-plan what people are gonna say.
yeah, I know there's going to be people going to say, but I can tell you that much, that they couldn't prove that it is halal. Even if they feel that I cannot prove it is haram, but they couldn't prove it is halal.
Yeah.
So at the best, we can say that this is a doubtful project. Okay. It is a doubtful project, and doubtful matters should be left as.
And honestly, guys, if you're new to crypto, don't get into all these things right now. This is there's going to be a lot of staking, yielding, passive income methods that's going to be coming up. There's going to be new technologies that are going to be deployed. Don't get too crazy into it when you don't have the education of the basics. It's important to understand the basics before you jump into something that's a lot more advanced. I mean, there's a lot of money that is lost, and then what happens is, because you don't know anything, you gamble into doing certain things, you lose money, and then you're like, oh, this is bad. You shouldn't be doing this. We lost $20,000. You have no education on it. Would you, would you take right off the bat? Would you start driving a truck down the highway? No. You're gonna practice. You're gonna get your licenses. You're gonna get your classes, and then you're gonna go. So, but yes, thank you so much, Mufti Billal, for the question and the answer of it. But to make your life easier, guys, if you want to know which tokens are halal, Mufti Billal and our team has already done quite a bit of a detailed analysis, and you can get that list on Sahal Wallet. You can download the app, go to the tokens, and just see which tokens are permissible. You can import tokens because it's a non-custodial wallet. Your tokens are going to be protected in there. It's a fork from Trust Wallet, so it's similar to the Trust Wallet, but the front end is changed for our requirements. So you guys can check out that, and I think I'll go into the Marhaba updates, as I'm already started talking about it. Sounds good.
Okay.
Amazing.
Awesome.
So
Thank you, Mufti Saab. Appreciate it as always. We'll let you
Okay.
get some sleep.
take care.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam. Salam.
Islam.
Okay, fantastic. Well, there's another token that I'm not going to be investing in.
There you go. Yeah,
There you
play
go,
it
yeah.
safe. Makes a lot of sense. I agree.
All right, so let's go here. Let me know when you guys can see my screen. You can see my screen,
Yeah, looks great. Looks
Moby?
good. Yeah, gotcha.
Is that a yes? Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic. Okay, so some good news, guys. If you guys haven't checked out already, we are on the Bitmart exchange. We actually listed 2 days ago on 7 a.m. EST. I was excited that they're giving out ESTs, not GMT, for the first time. I was like, okay, finally, something Canadian or American line, right? So yeah, we launched on Bitmart. Bitmart is one of the top exchanges that are out there, and we did fairly well on Bitmart. We were trending as the top 10 gainers, actually number one that day. We went up by 45%. Just in their platform. So guys, Marhaba is making sense to a lot of new people. Also, new eyes are coming, new holders are coming, and if you check out our holders are actually increased quite a bit. I can show you guys the holders on our actual BSC scan. I'll open that up a little bit later and show you guys. But if you go on our BSC scan, you can check out that we have more than 3,000 holders now. Dex tool is a little bit, I think there's a lag there or something. It's not picking up the right data, or it's gonna pick up in a specific timeline. But yeah, so we're more than 3,000 holders right after we went launch. So the family's getting bigger, which is exciting. So there's some good news there. If you guys want to also buy tokens, you guys can now buy them at Bank on Bitmart, and you guys would have been able to buy it on Sahal Wallet, but we had some very minor technical integration stuff that was coming from MoonPay side, which we are working on. We're gonna fix it, and not only are we working just with MoonPay, we're also working with other vendors to allow you guys the accessibility to buy tokens directly on Sahal Wallet. So stay with us, support us, and inshallah, once that is integrated and deployed, we will be letting you know on Telegram, Twitter, and also on YouTube. So, but if you want the news as quick as possible, then that would be Twitter. Twitter is the first place where our news goes out, and Telegram. So join us on our Twitter page. It's literally, you have a Twitter account, you go on Marhaba DeFi, MRHB DeFi, you press the account. All you have to do is follow. Well, this, like, I'm logged in as the manager, but all you have to do is just follow.
Giving a
So
demo of how to follow on Twitter.
yeah, so it's simple as that. It's just a few steps. Okay. One huge question and huge conversation that was happening on our Telegram was the liquidity and the passive income that is coming from it. And we're excited to see that a lot of you guys are jumping into the passive income stream that is available through PancakeSwap, and then you can double dip by going on our website, which is the rewards website for Marhaba. And so there's been an increase in the rewards themselves, and you guys can actually check that out with our I think you gotta connect your wallet, but you guys can see that we have increased our deploy rate by 2x. So before it was I think 1 point something, and now it's 2.2. And so you will be seeing more rewards coming up, but don't forget there's also more people jumping in, so you want to be jumping in as quick as possible before other people jump in, because then the rewards are divided between all of the holders. It's not necessarily like everybody's going to get 2.2. It's everybody, it's going to be the rewards divided by the amount of liquidity being provided for each person, and then that gets deployed down to each person, right? So jump in and make that liquidity rewards, and we will be increasing the rewards for the upcoming month. All right. Another really exciting news is with our partners already. We were working with Sukhavati with storage services when it comes to NFTs, and it's to protect the NFTs and to hold them in a cloud solution in the best way possible. And so we're working with our partners with that, and inshallah we'll be deploying that very soon also. So that way, yes, you can already do NFTs right now, but we're gonna, with this deployment, you'll be able to make your NFTs on souknft.com or souknft.network, and it'll be saved in the cloud in a much more secure manner than it was before. So some exciting updates coming in regards to security. That is most of the major updates. Some other minor updates that I would have to kind of let you guys know about is join our weekly calls. We have a weekly call every single Monday, on Telegram. On sometimes we do it on Discord, and sometimes we do it on Twitter. Right, we're trying to get everybody's opinion and feedback in, and you can come there and ask us honestly any questions. The team is there. I'm usually there. Sometimes our CEO is there. CTO also comes in. We all kind of chime in and just give you guys the answers that you guys are looking for. And very few projects, honestly, very few projects do this. We are doing it because we believe in transparency and honesty, and all of us are pretty public already, and so we want to be able to give you guys all the answers to your questions as fast and as quick as possible, because we've seen that our family, you guys, our community, truly do trust us, and are have been part of this journey, and will be part of this journey, because it's going to be a pretty long journey, but it's going to be a good one. But yeah, that's the Marhaba updates, and that's about it. Any last few points from your side, Moby, before we wrap it up?
No, I think it's exciting stuff. It's good to see consistency in the project. It's good to see, like progress on the project, which I think is good and what investors are looking at. And
Mhm.
yeah, so like we are now on L Bank, Bitmart. Is there another one that you mentioned as well?
Well, our own wallet, but there's another exchange that's going to be coming up, which I'll be letting you
Another
guys know about. Yeah, very soon.
Yeah, another exchange. So all these entry points, and I think this is a good time for the project to build. Funnily enough, that if we are in a bear market, which I believe we are, this is when a lot of projects build. Like Matic, this is what Matic did. Like this is when they build and they develop, and when the user case is there, that's when they sort of moon. So it's really exciting to see Marhaba take that same
I
path as well
I
for
never got
sure.
a chance to tell you this, but there's also another company or another exchange that just listed us for. I mean, they just contacted us, said we want to list you guys, and is that okay with you? And we said for sure. Let me see if I can open that up here. 1 second. Boom, boom, boom. It is BKeX listed us voluntarily, and yeah, it was quite interesting how we performed very well on their platform, and yeah, so now we have three exchanges,
There you
so
go.
you can see
And you
that
can buy direct from the Sahal wallet as well, like Ahmed
soon.
said.
Yes, yeah, soon. So once the integration for MoonPay is done, and the other third party vendors are done, we will be able to buy directly on Sahal wallet. But yeah, as you can see, other exchanges are voluntarily putting us up, right? We're not even having to contact them, or they're saying not, and they're not contacting us. It's just we're putting them up. Are you comfortable with it? Anything you want us to keep in mind? And we're like, sure, whatever you want, it's okay, because it's
That's
about
exciting. That's
gives
exciting.
access to people, yeah, and people want, because they probably saw that their audience wanted more of this product or this solution, and so that's it. So yeah, and then there's a lot of other things I can talk about. How there's influencers that are talking about us, and because I'm always running queries to find out what's going on with our tags and stuff. So it's very exciting to see that people just are starting. Now, because you'll see on Telegram, Twitter, and TikTok, you'll see influencers just make posts about XRP, posts about BNB, posts about random projects. I feel like that's where we want to be in the long run. And alhamdulillah, we can see the slight bit of it right now, and it excites me every day. From the marketing side, that this is what's going on. Alhamdulillah. That's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed. To always take care of yourself and keep us in your du'as. And yeah, check us out on our other social medias. Like, share, subscribe, and let us know what you guys want next in the upcoming shows and other videos in the comments below. Take care of yourself. Assalamu alaikum.
Stomach.